joins into our discussion. He's right here with us in the studio. Hi Vineet, good morning. It's been a very lackluster November series, but what's the expectation for December?
I think, December perhaps could be a rub-off from where we are in November. Although my own sense is that if the support that we have been looking at does turn out to be a strong support, which is 7,700 to 7,730, and if there is a sharp bounce back, although the market is trading about 100-150 Nifty points above it, but if it is a sharp bounce back and if the market starts trading above 79.50 by the next week or so, then I think there could be some enthusiasm that one could see before we go in for Christmas vacation. But otherwise, it could just linger around here.
Is it going to be a tame finish to this one? No fireworks today at between 2:30 and 3:30. It should end between, say, 7820 and 7880.
Looking at the amount of rollover that we are seeing as of this morning, Lata, actually I'm expecting some kind of a firework to happen. So there are two ways to look at it. One, based on the below average rollover in the single stock futures. The square-offs may happen quite smoothly throughout the day, which it could be supportive of because of the way the market has opened. Alternatively, if it does not happen, then it is always concentrated in the last half an hour or so, in which case not only the Nifty components but even some of the second line names could come under pressure.
Okay, so what is the most prudent strategy that one can execute in the December series?
I think the prudent strategy to execute in December series will still be a bull spread, primarily because we are looking at 730 having not broken, this entire November month. So do a call spread, and that will be a good strategy to do at this point in time.
Okay. What is the sense you are getting in terms of stocks that may pull up the Nifty today?
Bank Nifty is supportive. Right, it has been supportive actually throughout November. In fact, that has been one big reason why Nifty has not given way the way some of the pessimists were actually looking at. That should continue to be the situation even now. There are pockets of strength within the Bank Nifty. In the private space, we are hopeful of IndusInd Bank, HDFC Bank, and Kotak Bank providing the support. On the PSU side, SBI, Bank of Baroda continue to be the anchors.
What about the pharma stocks, Dr. Reddy and Sun Pharma, the biggest casualties this series, down more than 20%. What's the forecast for the December series?
We do not see an immediate turnaround in terms of the trend. The price trend for the pharma space, in general, and therefore to expect that DRL and Sun Pharma will show any immediate bounce back looks a bit unlikely, although I'm also reminded of the fact that they are trading near very strong support levels as far as the technical charts are concerned. In the mid-cap pharma space also, there are very few bright spots that are left. The sector itself as far as mid-cap pharma is concerned has done well in the last 2-3 quarters, but I think it has run out of steam. It is possibly the time where the traders would like to book profits. Other than Divi's Laboratories, I don't think there is any name that is looking as one where you could initiate new longs.
Okay, so not much support coming from pharma. What about Reliance? Actually, it's been a standout performer. Even today, it's lending its shoulder to the Nifty.
Yes. Reliance does appear to be the one which will actually lead, the possible lift-off that we are expecting beyond 7,900, 7,950. So if you look at the pocket of strengths, it is Reliance in the oil and gas space. In fact, if you were to do a more relative value trade, then it will be buy Reliance, sell OMCs, kind of a trade. Okay. The other strength that is visible is in banking, as I mentioned earlier, and some strength that is visible also in IT. So, our standouts are TCS, Infosys in the large cap, and in the mid cap space, there are a host of names which are looking good.
Anything in auto stocks that you would trade in, or rather you would advise for the December series?
Maruti continues to be one which outshines everything, but we suspect that it is possibly moving towards a multiple top kind of chart formation. And therefore, only beyond 4,800, I would get more enthused about Maruti. But otherwise, names such as Mahindra and Mahindra and Bajaj Auto do look good.
Okay.
Okay, well, Lakshmi Vilas Bank is up 7%, and that could be on news that Partho Mukherjee, who used to be with Axis, is likely to join Lakshmi Vilas Bank as their CEO. So that's kept Lakshmi Vilas in a very positive frame at this juncture. That's a big heavyweight who's moving from the banking space, who's moving to Lakshmi Vilas Bank. So that stock up and about at this point in time. That's Lakshmi Vilas Bank chart for you. Well, Vineet, how would you read the FII moves? They have not been the biggest movers in the market. Even their selling has not really impacted the Nifty so much. But what is the pattern? Are they indicating support at any levels from the way they have traded the futures and options in November?
No, actually, they have they have been very opportunistic in terms of the building positions and lightening the book sizes, both in terms of October as well as the November series. My sense is that if there is a consistent and high conviction support and therefore a consequent rally that is visible in Nifty in the next week or so, then that is the time where I think the book sizes for FIIs will come in. I think it will be the domestic smart money and the professional money that has shown the direction for for the markets.
Okay, so you were telling us about what the support level for this market will be, but what about the upside? You said about 7,700 could be a strong support, but where do you see a strong resistance for the index in the December series? So
this resistance actually comes where where it halted last time in October as well as November, which is about 7,900, 7,930. Okay. So therefore, I'm really waiting for market to go beyond 7,950 for it to start looking at, quite differently.
Is there, okay, so 7,700 and 7,900 seem to be the goalposts, or maybe 7,950 as you say. What about Arcom? That's been one of the high volume, even rising stocks.
So in the telecom space, as far as Arcom is concerned, one has not looked at it with great interest as far as the market is concerned. There has been, news-related interest in this particular stock, and you're right, Lata, that there is volume that has accompanied this particular the news that is coming around this particular stock. But I think we are still focused on names like Bharti and Idea when it comes to telecom.
Okay. Bharti and Idea, what would be the preference? Today, Idea is under pressure.
Yes, it is under pressure because of the news that came out. But I think we still think, that in the situation that we are all forecasting for 16, 17, and thereafter, Bharti and Idea should definitely benefit. It is not a trade that you would put on your book for the next few weeks or so, but it is something that you would like to add to your portfolio as a part of your telecom exposure.
Okay, in your private banking list, you mentioned IndusInd, you mentioned HDFC Bank, but you didn't mention ICICI Bank. That one has actually fallen off a cliff in the last, 1 or 2 months. Do you see more downside there?
No, we do not see a limit. We do not see the downside, hereafter as far as ICICI Bank is concerned. I think it's a bit limited, but a lot has been done as far as the price damage to ICICI Bank is concerned. The reason why we put out names like HDFC Bank and IndusInd Bank is only because of the relative strength that we are seeing in these particular names, and the possibility of making a portfolio gain if you were to add on to these two names in your book now.
Okay. What are the chances that 7950 will be broken? Do you lay great store by that? Is that a possibility?
Yes.
A bigger possibility than 7720 getting broken?
Yes, that's how I'm leaning and looking at the market.
Okay. I also want to ask you about some of the mid caps that seem to be showing some life after a goodish bit. Jubilant Food?
Yes.
I mean, is that a stock you think
Yes,
you could be
we have
positive?
always been very excited about the prospect of this particular name. It has, it has been blow hot, blow cold
Yes.
kind of a situation in the last 1 year or so. But the underpinnings of the dynamics of Jubilant Food and the consumer behavior is such that we only look at it with great enthusiasm. So Jubilant Foods, Britannia.
So from your stable, it's a fundamental
Yes.
buy. It's a fundamental call.
Yes,
to
it's a
buy.
fundamental call to add to your portfolio.
Okay, Britannia and Jubilant Food. Yeah, any of the mid-cap banks?
In the mid-cap banks, I think Lakshmi Vilas was a name that we were talking about a week, 10 days ago, but it has already started moving on the back of a news that you just shared with the viewers. So I guess that's what it is.
All right, Vineet, we leave it
Okay,
at that.
I just have one more stock there. Motherson Sumi.
Oh yeah, it has really taken a beating, but it has always been one of the better managed, great auto universe kind of a stock. I will not get out of that particular stock from my portfolio even now.
All right, Vineet. Thank you very much for joining us and giving us your views on a bunch of stocks. So 7720, 7950, that's the kind of bracket in which the Nifty might move. And chances of an upside break slightly brighter than a downside break. That's positive. At this point in time, of course, the Sensex and the Nifty showing a lot of green, and the mid-caps as well. You must look up at the advanced declines. That's extremely positive. Over 2.5 stocks in the green for one in the red. That is 892 to 360. Advanced declines is what I'm